everyone, thank you for joining us on this edition of the newscast of Equinoxe television. We're broadcasting from Cameroon. My name is BrigadeAntiSardinard. In our top stories in this edition of the news, women continue mounting pressure on the Yaoundé administration to put an end to the killing and destruction going on in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon within the context of the 4-year-long armed conflict. They were on the streets today in the southwest regional chief town, Boya. Stand Up for Cameroon civil society platform is urging all Cameroonians to dress in black within the context of its efforts to put an end to the bloodshed in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. The members of the civil society platform, speaking to the press today in Douala, decried the negligence, or what they consider as negligence, of the Cameroon government with regards to the protection of citizens, and profancies praise for peace to return to the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. Will bring to you details of his message on the killing of students in Kumba and the Anglophone crisis in general in this edition of the news. Women continue hitting the streets in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. Yesterday, the women, accompanied by their children, were on the streets in the northwest regional chief town, Bamenda, and today was the turn of Boya, capital of the southwest region of the country. The women were on the street marching and protesting against the killing of 7 students in a school in Kumba 2 subdivision, southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, and the women were saying enough is enough. They want an end to the bloodshed in the 2 Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon, and they were marching on the streets of Boya today, calling on the administration to take immediate action in order to put an end to the 4-year-long armed conflicts in the 2 Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon. The women of Boya today staged the peaceful protest against the killing of the 7 children in Kumba. And the women, down from all walks of life, marched from the Cameroon OIC Center through the regional hospital in Boya to visit the wounded, the children who were wounded during the incident in the Kumba, and the children are said to be responding to treatment in the hospital. And they continued to the governor's office, and at the governor's office the women asked the governor to stop the killings and negotiate for peace to return. But in response, the governor, Benau Bilai, said it's the women's children who are killing their children. But the women denied and said that the administration is responsible for peace, is responsible for the protection of citizens of the country. Now we bring into you some images, some live images of the women's protest in the town of Boya today. I told you that the women's marched on the streets of Boya today, calling on the administration to put an end to the war, but there seemed to be a conflict between the administration and the women with regards to who is doing what. The governor of the southwest region, Bena Bilai, tells the women that they should tell their children to stop the war, because according to him, they are the ones killing their children. It should be noted that the killing of the 7 students in a school in Kumba 2 subdivision has been attributed to pro-independence fighters, even though some of the leaders of the pro-independence movement have said in audio clips that they have nothing to do with that incident. The women told the governor of the southwest region that the government has the responsibility to protect the citizen. Take a listen. southwest region on the streets of Boya, and Stand Up for Cameroon Civil Society platform is urging all Cameroonians to dress in black, still within the framework of pressure on the Yaoundé administration to put an end to the killings and destruction going on in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. And civil society, the leaders of the civil society platform speaking to the press today in Douala, blamed the government for abandoning the children, for not protecting the children who were killed and other civilians who were killed in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. We have details with Innocent.
Calling on Cameroonians from the young to the old in and out of the country to assemble dressed in black Friday, October 30th to observe a national day of mourning as requested by religious and other authorities to pray for the repose of the souls of the 7 children killed in Kumba was focal point of the Stand Up for Cameroon's press conference in Douala.
Dress in black. Pray and meditate for these kids and also for survivors. We need to construct Cameroon to our taste. We need to construct Cameroon to our taste.
Levez-vous et dites ce que vous voulez faire de cette nation. Et nous le ferons ensemble.
Stand Up for Cameroon regrets this country whose leaders allow children unprotected and be killed.
I strongly believe as a leader that we are missing the point. The point is not whether or not we want Ambazonia to become a reality or we want Cameroon to remain. The point is Princess, Jennifer, Victoire, Cindy, Thelma, Rema, Remy, Amsa, Alima, Yamsi, Yasimiratu, Saliatu, Diana, Midian, Jude, Tracy, Cynthia, Mary Angel, Berenie. The point is, what kind of parents are we that we could not protect their lives? What kind of leaders are we? If we cannot make sure nobody will join them, if we cannot make sure the compatriots that we're talking about, whether we call them Ambazonians or we call them Cameroonians, will enjoy the privilege that we enjoy. What kind of leaders are we if we are allowing that to happen?
That real leaders should wish to see children grow and give birth to their own children, celebrate anniversaries, successes, and above all, life.
I believe all of you think there's a price to pay to get what we want, what we deserve, what is good for our people. I want, as a leader myself, to remind you of something that we enjoy as a privilege, we leaders, Messieurs les ministres. We enjoy the privilege of not being afraid of seeing our houses burned down. We enjoy the privilege of seeing our loved one wish us happy birthday. We enjoy the privilege of seeing our sons and daughters giving birth. We enjoy brothers and
serves for a
national Stand Up for Cameroon Civil Society platform says that both pending civil construction going on in the northwest and south. She says that government should hold negotiation dialogue simply with including the pro-independence in view of ending the bloodshed. And Michel Ndoki, member of the Stand Up for Cameroon Civil Society Platform and Legal Mind, and it is not punishing the perpetrators of the atrocities in the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon adequately in a bid to stop such atrocities that have been committed there. And so she does not expect another commission of inquiry that will not yield the desired fruits as far as justice for those affected by the atrocities is concerned.
We are all responsible, but some are more responsible than others, because there are people who are holding guns. There are people in government who have decided that the only strategy for 4 years today is a military strategy. They have not put any other strategy on the table, and that is unacceptable. And we let's them as a country, as an entire nation. I hear some people and indivisible. If you want one and indivisible, you have to act. It's not by declaring. The mothers, the fathers, the children, the boys, the girls, the religious people, the school proprietors, the civil society, the bike riders, and so on. We have to sit those communities around the table. And we must have the AMBA and the army, both the perpetrators and the victims. They too are perpetrators and they are victims. And it is by sitting down with those communities that we will be able to heal. We must give victims the opportunity. So our demand to government actually is to create the conditions that will enable us to have those conversations.
Why are we not asking for investigations, mission? Maybe because we're still waiting for the result of the mission sent for Ngabu. Did you guys as journalists hear that there was a trial, somebody was punished, we understood what happened and who was responsible? And does that make you feel better? We're talking about feeling better. I think we have the right to talk about feeling better in this land. And this is what we want to focus on. How do we feel better? How do we feel we live in a country where harmony, joy, is a reality? This is what we want to focus on. And I think it's a reasonable expectation.
Pope Francis prays for return to peace and normalcy in the two English-speaking regions of the Republic of Cameroon. In his message, he expressed deep concerns over the killing of the 7 students in Kumba and other atrocities that have been committed in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Take a listen.
I grieve with the families of the children who were savagely murdered last Saturday at Kumba in Cameroon. I feel disconcerted by such a cruel and senseless act which has ripped the lives of innocent little ones while they were taking lessons in school. I pray that God illuminates the hearts of men so that this type of act never repeats itself again, and also that the conflict-hit regions of the northwest and southwest can finally regain peace. My wish is that guns remain silent for the guarantee of peace and serenity, and the rights to education of children and youths be respected. I write to the families of the victims in Kumba and all Cameroonians at large. I invoke the comfort and affection that only God can give you all.
Away from the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, there are equally problems and unrest in many other parts of the country. In Konsamba, in the Mongo Division, littoral region of the country, bike riders are on the streets pressing for solutions to plight, so problems affecting their sector of activity. Details in this report.
Angry bike riders in the streets of Konsamba in the Mongo Division of the littoral region of Cameroon. They are heading to the Mongo North Gendarmerie Company base. They want concrete answers from the gendarmerie boss over the shooting of their co-bike rider Friday, October the 23rd, 2020. Your co-worker is fine and alive. I personally transported him to the Konsamba Regional Hospital at about 4 a.m. I did not take him to the hospital because his situation was critical or because he was about to die. I took him to the hospital because we are not here to kill people. We are here to maintain order. When I arrived at the Konsamba hospital, the surgeon was not present. I then had to transfer him to Njombe, where the surgeon was present.
J'ai pris sur moi de l'amener à Njombe parce que le chirurgien de Njombe était présent.
Some of the bike riders, not satisfied with the response of Commander Mebwens, demanded to go down to Njombe to confirm that their colleague is alive. According to local sources, the wounded bike rider and 4 others were stopped by gendarmerie officials who were on patrol at about 3 a.m. on Friday, October the 23rd, 2020. 4 others presented their identification documents, while he, who could not produce his document, rather took on the run before being shot by the gendarmerie officials. The encounter also presented an opportunity for the gendarmerie boss to solicit the full collaboration of bike riders in order to eradicate insecurity in Konsamba and the entire Mongo North.
Insecurity is also a problem in the country's economic capital, Douala. Several parts of the town. In several parts of the town, inhabitants are often attacked in the day as in the night by unidentified suspected bandits, and one of such neighborhoods where insecurity is high is the Lokbesu neighborhood, where people are attacked at very close intervals of time. From me, I'm Sander once more.
Circulating on stretches leading to the CRTV antenna in the Lokbesu neighborhood of the Douala 5 subdivision is a difficult task given the bad state of the road. Street lights are absent, creating an environment favorable for activities of the men of the underworld. Locals say the area has become an excellent ground for armed bandits who attack passers-by beginning 10 p.m. every day.
À partir de 22h, c'est plus possible de circuler par ici. Nous avons des cas.
Speaking on anonymity, a local inhabitant say aggressions with knives and machetes on both motorbikes are carried out every day from Carrefour Tampico to Lendi.
Qui est cause de tout cela, c'est le manque d'éclairage ici là.
He blames the absence of street lights for the repeated attacks. Armed bandits target taxis and commercial motorbikes when they arrive stagnant water points.
Je me dis, c'est les éclairages qu'il n'y en a pas.
Attacks in this neighborhood of the city of Douala are also done in houses.
Une fois, ils sont venus chez moi à 21h, un samedi.
On a certain Saturday, they stormed my residence and took away everything they could take for me. One of them even threatened to gun me down, but his co-bandit asked him not to do it.
Ils ont pris tout ce qu'eux ils voyaient et tout bon. Ils sont partis.
Tout ce que nous pouvons demander, c'est d'abord mettre la localité.
Given that Lokbesu is found in the Douala 5 subdivision, the people are asking the mayor of the Douala 5 council to take up his responsibility by providing street lights in the neighborhood. While inhabitants on the third stretches of Lokbesu live in relative calm, those in the interior parts of the neighborhood live in uncertainty.
Security and defense forces have been stepping up the fight against insecurity in the town of Douala and elsewhere across the Republic of Cameroon. The National Gendarmerie in particular has been tracking down the suspected bandits and stolen equipments or stolen belongings of the population. Recently, the National Gendarmerie could bring back to its owners 10 stolen vehicles. Innocent as it has more.
A total of 10 stolen vehicles recovered by elements at the Regional Division for Judicial Police Littoral in Bonanjo, Douala, Tuesday, October 27th. They were found in a garage behind Quatre Etage in Bonaberry, Douala 4 subdivision, with 1 out of 3 suspects apprehended.
Après nos investigations, on est arrivé au garage pour nous avons effectivement retrouvé la carine en question et d'autres voitures qui étaient en voie de réfection, des voitures volées.
This stolen Carina e-vehicle on September 27th, undergoing transformation, leads to discovery of the other 9.
Je suis pas mécanicien, je suis commerçant.
This 38-year-old suspect, Tangwan, says he is a businessman. He was given the vehicle in Newberry by his friend, proprietor of this garage, to drive it here for repairs. Caught as a result of an investigation and the surveillance cameras after a complaint was filed by its owner. The suspect says his friend, the garage owner, was nowhere to be found. He repaired the Carina e-vehicle as ordered by the owner, though innocent of the crime.
J'ai arrangé que bon, la police va rester chercher celui qui est l'auteur de ça. Donc je ne connais rien d'autre.
According to him, it is the first time he is given a vehicle to drive to this garage.
La seule voiture que je connais que c'est ce qui m'a donné d'aller donner, je l'ai amené chez lui.
Heads of the fruitful operation confirmed to us the garage proprietor and the mechanic had escaped.
Pour le moment, nous avons 2 personnes là. En fait, la personne qui a le garage, lui aussi en fuite. Donc il y a la personne qui a le garage, elle est nommée.
Owner of the garage, he says, is the principal suspect. Proprietor of the Carina E confirmed at the station the vehicle is his.
Je constate que c'est ma voiture que les bandits ont volée et qui se retrouve au niveau de la PJ, dont je remercie le chef de la PJ et puis le commandant des Antigans qui ont fait un très bon travail.
This woman is one of those who identified their vehicles recovered.
I was told the car is here at the police. So I came here. I told them that the car is my car. It was stolen at this date. So I'm grateful.
Investigation is on course to track down the eloped suspects.
The 10 vehicles were recovered by officers of the police force. Coming up, we're going to tell you how COVID-19 or the COVID-19 pandemic has dealt with the economy of the biggest economy in the world, that of the United States of America.
The world's economy suffered its biggest blow since the Great Depression, as the COVID-19 pandemic froze almost all activity, shattered consumer and business spending, and reshaped the U.S. presidential election. An unprecedented healthcare crisis triggered an economic downturn like no other, and these 2 issues are among the voters' main concerns. According to the recent poll by Pew Research Center, 79% of registered voters see economy as a top concern at the presidential election. 68% of Americans see healthcare as the second biggest problem. 12.5 million Americans were unemployed in September, just weeks before they go to the polls.
Simply put, it's a choice between a socialist nightmare and the American dream. Under my leadership, we will have a safe and effective vaccine before the end of the year. We will swiftly defeat the China virus, end the pandemic, bring back our critical supply chains, and lift our economy to unprecedented new heights.
"91 of the Fortune 500 companies today pay zero tax. You hear me? Zero tax. How many of you pay zero tax? And billionaires are paying at a tax rate, because it's all investment money, they're paying a lower tax rate than you pay if you have a job as a plumber."
A Harvard poll showed 46% of Americans having serious financial problems. Close to 33% said they had exhausted their savings. 20% of Americans had difficulty paying the rent. Global economic recovery will pick up the pace only when the pandemic is over. But with the US presidential election coming amid this unprecedented crisis, there is still truth in the notion that when America sneezes, the world does indeed catch a cold.
Talking point is up next. Padia Sanga, civil society leader, is joining us today from Germany. Thank you for joining us, Padia Sanga.
Yes, Babila, good evening, Equinoxe family, and good evening to the entire Cameroonian family who are mourning and who are grieving because of what happened in Kumba. It is a very, very sad situation. It is very, very regrettable, and it's rather unfortunate that Anglophones are killing themselves. Anglophones have not been given that opportunity to sit down and recalibrate and rethink or re-strategize. Babila, I want to say my condolences to the broken families who have lost kids whose only wish was to be educated or go to school. Thank you, Babila, for bringing me in.
All right, Padia Sanga, I hope the technicians will be able to adjust your sound so that I can get you clearly, because I can't really get you clearly from here. And we're talking, of course, about the situation in the Kumba and the rest of the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, the killing of 7 students in a school, students seeking to acquire knowledge. When you look at such an incident happening at this point in time in the 2 Anglophone regions of the country, what do you think about all the efforts that the government and other stakeholders are putting in to put an end to such happenings?
Babila, I cannot get you very well. There is noise in the studio, but I would like you to retake your question, please.
Right, I'm talking about the killing of 7 students in the town of Kumba in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And I said, as a civil society leader who's been closely following up happenings in those 2 regions, and also working for return to peace and normalcy in those regions hit by crisis for close to 4 years today. When such a thing happens at this point in time, what do you think about all the efforts that you, other stakeholders, the government are putting in and have been putting in for close to 4 years today to make sure that such things do not happen?
Babila, you know, I am one of those people, and I belong to several organizations who don't believe in armed struggle. And what is happening in Cameroon today, Mr. Biya is solely responsible for what is happening in Cameroon. But the truth is that some people are not, some people are accomplices within his ranks, and some of us Anglophones who are sitting here in the diaspora. The time is over for us to be playing the blame game, because when the Anglophone crisis popped up, we did not have people going after students until a group of individuals came up and said and were enforcing school boycotts by the use of guns. That is where everything started. And when you go with that route, we'll find ourselves in the situation where we find ourselves now. I have heard people say that it is done by the government to frame Ambazonia and or like to give a dog a bad name and kill it. No, Ambazonia framed itself. Remember that my friend, my one-time friend Ayabacho, said he would cut off the heads of chiefs and hang them on the streets. My other young man, I don't consider him a journalist because journalists don't say things the way he says. I'll call him the bush baby journalist from Kendem. Excuse me to use those terms. He said everybody who dares to go to school, his fingers and limbs should be chopped off, and we saw that happen. We saw CDC workers got their fingers and limbs chopped off. And lately, there is a certain Christianza Asson who works with Sako. She came out publicly and said that what will happen to children who will be going to school, they will not like it. So they framed themselves. Nobody needs to frame Ambazonia anymore. This thing has been cooked up from the diaspora and sold to Cameroon, and there is nobody who is responsible for what is happening in Cameroon than Mr. Biya and some of us who are sitting here in the diaspora, Babylon.
Padi Asanga, before you go further, let me just say this. Please, no insults. We can always make a point without using words that could be considered as insults by the persons we are addressing here. Now, you are blaming the President of the Republic. Why? Why are you blaming somebody who has been saying in several occasions that I'm a man of peace, I want this thing to end, I want everything to come back to normalcy, I'm doing everything possible for this war to end, and other people are saying that the President of the Republic is the man who is fighting for peace, but you are blaming him for that atrocity. Why?
Listen, Mr. Babida, you cannot fight for peace sitting in your palace in Vomeka. You are never present. It doesn't work like that. When the Anglophone crisis popped up, we expected to see Mr. Biya, the de facto president of Cameroon, because we consider that since 1992, Mr. Biya has never won any elections. That is our position.
He is the president of the Republic of Cameroon, not the de facto president. He was elected in 2018 with over 71% of votes.
In my native Abakwa, Mr. Biya was not elected. Nobody was elected in my native Abakwa. Nobody went for election there. Babila, we should be honest and say things the way they are. So he is the de facto president and he rules Cameroon through his proxies. So since 1992, we have been dealing with the same system, asking Mr. Biya and his government, people like Atanganji, to open up. Then he went on to nominate Mr. Atanganji to come and provoke Anglophones again. I don't think that we are dealing with a serious regime, and he is looking for peace. You cannot be looking for peace when you say you are the father of the nation and you have never set foot since 4 years when this thing popped up. He have never been anywhere close to the northwest region and say, okay, I'm the father of the nation, you elected me, I've come to listen to you people. But he does things by proxy. It doesn't mean that, and you want to understand why people also sit in the diaspora and have created several gangs in Cameroon, because they want to copy the way Mr. Biya is doing things. Somebody sits in Norway and calls himself CIC. Somebody sits in Nigeria and say he's president. Somebody sits in Maryland and say he's president. Where our young boys and girls are being used as political guinea pigs. The military are used as political guinea pigs. The military is composed of Anglophones and Francophones. They are all dying in the northwest and southwest region, and people have used our young boys and girls, telling them that if they don't, you should go and talk about Sako, you should go and talk about Ayaba, you should go and talk about this, we are fighting for this. What is all that?
Is that why you're blaming him for something which his government attributes to pro-independence fighters?
But you see, these people who call themselves Ambazonia, they have copied. The only thing that they have learned from Mr. Biya's Jacobinist regime is to sit in their comfort zone and then send other people's children to go and die. Those guys who are going there as military and B and so on and so forth, they are people's children. What does it take Mr. Biya to go down to the northwest and southwest region and talk to the people himself? He keeps sending people like Atanganji Paul to go and provoke people. You heard what Atanganji Paul just said today in Kumba. It's a disgrace. He cannot make the difference between Fako and Meme, but he's Minister of Territorial Administration. What is all that, Babila?
But he will say that anybody can make a mistake.
Yes, it is. There are certain mistakes which that should not come from people of his portfolio. If you call yourself, I cannot sit today and say that I am living in Berlin, whereas I'm living in Hamburg. I find myself in Berlin. I should know that I'm in Berlin. If I'm talking about Berlin, I should know that I'm talking about Berlin. If I'm talking about Hamburg, I should know that I'm talking about Hamburg. If I'm talking about Munich, where we had a conference with Kawala and Maitre Sim, Maitre Aliscom, I should know that I'm talking about Munich, not Cologne. And it is the same thing that his people have done here. They've come to frame up Kawala, Maitre Aliscom, Maitre Sim, that they were sitting in Cologne to buy arms. I was in that meeting, Babila. I was during that meeting, and everybody knows my position. So people should not come and lie here. Those people who went to Cologne to buy arms are well known. They should be talked. They should be called. But you see, CPDM is good at that, and you just saw the example. Atanganji is a very good example of the CPDM product. They don't master their subject. They come and say things talking about God. Is it the same God that you and I pray that Atanganji is talking about, Mr. Babida?
Padia Sanga, you're talking about an accusation from some militants of the CPDM against Kawala, president of the CPP, against the board chair of the Network of Human Rights Defenders in Central Africa, REDAC, that is Barrister Aliscom, and Barrister Sim Emmanuel of the CRM political party. What do you know about that, Padia Sanga? They were in Germany. Were they there to buy guns for the pro-independence fighters?
No, Babila, let me be frank to you people, and I want to be honest. You see, I have the obligation to tell the truth, and I'm lucky. I'm one of those privileged Cameroonians who has been on every front, and my obligation is to put the facts straight. It is not because I don't agree with Professor Maurice Kamto that I want Professor Maurice Kamto to be killed. It is not because I don't agree with Maitre Aliscom on his position on homosexuality that I'll come and lie about her. No. We met in Munich, and the agenda of that meeting in Munich was to talk about a political transition. Dr. Eta Ewane, who has been on this platform, has told you people he was the person who is the acting president of that Cameroon Patriotic Diaspora Movement. When we met in Munich, those who went to Cologne to buy guns, they came to attack us, but we gave them the microphones. The videos are out there. So going out there to frame Kawala, give a dog a bad name to kill it, frame Metro Sim, give a dog a bad name to kill it, frame Metro Aliscom, give a dog a bad name to kill it, is dishonest. And I am happy that Metro Sim has come out to say that he is going to take this two CPDM stooge who came to your platform and will saying all that nonsense.
All right, Padia Sanga, we are wrapping up, but before we go, can you just tell us, those who went to buy guns, you said that some people went to buy guns.
The videos are out there. It's not me who is saying. People met in Cologne. These same people are the same people that when I came back from Cameroon, you know, on this your same platform, I came from the Anglophone General Conference, which was aborted. We met in Munich, and I told them that what I saw in Cameroon was not very good, and that row is not a good row. They treated us as traitors. Remember, Kawala was threatened not to come to that meeting. During that period, Maitre Sim was also called a traitor by these same people who went and met in Cologne. Their names are out there. I don't want to give them unnecessary popularity. I'm sorry to say this, but we are bound to tell the truth to our people and move forward. We know who is responsible for what. Social media has permitted us to know exactly who is doing what and at what date.
Padia Sanga, civil society leader, thank you for joining us from Germany.
Thank you, Babila, for bringing me in. I wish you people all the best. And I still repeat, the diaspora is mourning, and my sincere condolences to all those families who are affected. Some of my friends in the diaspora have contacted us, and in the days ahead, we'll be channeling our support to the victims of Kumba. Thank you.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. Goodbye.